Hello, this is Ultra Titan Z, and this is my review of Kong Survivor Instinct. So I'm going to start out with a broad overview if you are not sure if you want to play it or not. And then if you've already played it, I'll go more in depth afterwards and include the spoilers. So it's a Metroidvania style game where you play as this guy named David who's searching for his daughter in the midst of a Titan attack, which is a pretty cool perspective to follow. I think that can always work. You know, there's always stories to be told in that kind of disaster environment, especially with how unique Titans are. The graphics are really nice. The gameplay is pretty solid. The music has that MonsterVerse sound. It's all very fitting. I won't say it's necessarily a groundbreaking game, but if you like the MonsterVerse or you like Metroidvania style games, I think you'll like this. Especially if you like both. It's just really nice to get a quality MonsterVerse game. Again, this isn't, breaking the mold. It's not doing anything hugely different, but overall, it's just a really solid game. It's short, and I had a good time with it. It was fun. Now we'll get into a bit more detail. I enjoyed playing from the everyman perspective and experiencing that more personal side of the MonsterVerse. David is not a hugely deep protagonist, but he gets the job done. I think it works well. I like interacting with the random people who you find, and I think the best sequences in the whole game are the chase scenes. Especially when you've been just walking around the whole time. It really helps build up to that. And then they feel intense when you're in the midst of it, and it's a new kind of experience. I thought those were very fun scenes. Now, obviously, this is a Kong game, but it doesn't always feel like it. He's always kind of looming in the background, but there's other stuff going on too. And I'm okay with that in this case because I think being a MonsterVerse game, it doesn't have an obligation to be, fully enveloped in the main monster. Because, with the MonsterVerse, this is a whole world we want to explore. There's other avenues we want to see. Obviously, if Kong's in the title, I want to see a bit of Kong, and he should have some relevance to the plot. And, I think that was done well enough. I think it could have been done a bit better. His integration could have been a little bit more explanation for why he was there. I know it's implied that, he sensed something. He might have got shot up from like a vile vortex, and now he's up on the surface, and he hears the orca. He's searching for that, right? So that's another thing. We got the Orca Sigma, so we're bringing that back. That's always good to see. And speaking of King of the Monsters returning thing, Alan Jonah is back, and that makes me really happy because he's one of the plot threads, one of the characters I always wanted to see more done with. I felt there was always a lot of potential with him. So I enjoyed that we got to see more of him in this, which is great. He's behind the whole... And not only that, we'll get to that. Let me finish on Kong. Kong, again, I think his integration wasn't incredibly strong, but, it was satisfactory, and it was really cool interacting with him and having him show up. Godzilla was probably, healing from his wounds or distracted by something else. So, it's nice to see more of Kong. I mean, when we look at the movies, obviously everyone's like, "Oh, it's a Kong fest," because with the recent Godzilla Kong Together movies, it's like everyone thinks Kong's getting a bit too much screen time. But if we cancel out movies where Godzilla and Kong are together, then it's 2-1. And even if we throw in the other media like the comic books, Godzilla outweighs Kong quite a bit in that category. So I'm always, I'm happy to see more Kong in the MonsterVerse, doing his own thing. All right, let's talk about the Titan in the room, Abaddon. This is its first appearance, and what an appearance it was. It's quite a disturbing monster, especially if you don't like spiders. There's something about its face that's really unsettling, and I love the skull shaped body. I think that's a really great touch. I think Abaddon is a great addition to the MonsterVerse and a really cool Titan. Though I would have loved to see more of it. I think its introduction was good as it was. It was very simple. It got woken up by this activity on the surface, and now it's just out and about. So there's a lot of freedom with what they can do with Abaddon next. After that, we've got the return of Tiamat, which is awesome. She debuted in the comics, she died in the movies, but this game takes place in the past, so we get to see more of her history before her inevitable demise. So that's really cool. And we learn she has a daughter in Lahamu, which is another really compelling lore addition. So I'm interested to see where that's going to be taken in the future. And there's other interesting stuff about Tiamat, but that's for another time. The point is, this game introduced that she has a daughter, which, kind of plays into the theme of the game, especially with the twist at the end, which you could kind of see it early on, as time went along. You got drip fed that information, and and then you get to the end there, and then there it was. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game, got to, experience these Titans firsthand, really properly explore the world of the MonsterVerse, going just through cities and talking to people, going into the Titan shelters and underground hidden layers. The voice acting could have been a bit better in certain areas, but overall it was sufficient. If you're a MonsterVerse fan, I highly recommend you check this game out. If you're a Kong fan, I'd still recommend it, but be aware this is more of a MonsterVerse game than a Kong game, though you'll still get those moments of Kong goodness in here. So yeah, that's my review of the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.